Hey guys, tonight we slip into the smoky glow of an ancient laboratory, a little cave of chaos, somewhere deep in Tang Dynasty China. The air trembles with the hiss of heated metals and the low mumbling of an alchemist who thinks he's found the key to eternal life. You can almost taste the sulfur in the back of your throat. A lamp flickers against scrolls scrawled with symbols that look like the fever dreams of a math teacher. And there you are, watching, half fascinated, half concerned, as the man grinds a yellow rock into powder while whispering to the heavens for immortality. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're at it, tell me in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is right now. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The old man in front of you isn't just tinkering, he's on a divine mission. He believes, truly and deeply, that nature hides the recipe for eternal life somewhere between Mercury and Cinnabar. The fumes rising from his bronze cauldron shimmer like ghosts. You notice his trembling hands, stained crimson by mercury oxide, and wonder how many others have coughed themselves into legend doing exactly this. You probably won't survive this, but hey, immortality takes practice. He's one of thousands of Taoist alchemists during the Tang Dynasty, a time when China thrummed with invention and anxiety. People were building printing blocks, experimenting with clockwork gears, and yes, trying to cheat death. These men weren't just scientists, they were part philosopher, part mad chemist, part magician. They believed that by transforming matter, they could transform the soul itself. The workshop is cluttered with clay jars labeled with elegant brushstrokes: realgar, arsenic, sulfur, saltpeter. It's the kind of inventory that could clear a room faster than a tax collector. You watch as the alchemist sprinkles the powders together in deliberate rhythm, 1 pinch of this, 2 pinches of that. The mixture sputters, and for a split second there's light. Not divine, not holy, but just a sudden, startled flash that sends him scrambling backward and clutching his beard in astonishment. Historians still argue whether this was the moment the first spark of gunpowder was born, or merely one of many happy and hazardous accidents. But one thing's certain, no one planned for the fireworks. This was supposed to be about eternal youth, not blowing holes in the ceiling. You imagine the scene outside the lab. The countryside hums with crickets, and the stars glint over the Yangtze Valley. Inside, your lungs burn a little. You cough, wave away smoke that smells like a burnt coin, and think, well, maybe immortality doesn't smell so promising. The alchemist mutters a prayer to Laozi, wipes his brow, and dips a brush into soot, writing the results of his experiment in a narrow ledger. The characters translate roughly to mixed sulfur and saltpeter. Strong fire resulted. No triumphant note, no fanfare, just another failed elixir logged in neat handwriting. You get the sense he doesn't even know what he stumbled upon. He's been chasing immortality for decades, drinking mercury solutions, eating powdered jade, sitting for days in silence, meditating on the nature of energy. His friends are mostly dead, some from old age, some from taste-testing questionable brews, but yet he persists. Because in this era, death isn't just a personal fear, it's a philosophical flaw. To die is to admit ignorance of the Tao, the cosmic flow of all things. You can almost feel his obsession creeping under your skin. The steady rhythm of pestle against mortar becomes hypnotic. Thump, thump, thump. You start to see patterns in the dust clouds, like faces whispering from another world. The alchemist pauses, peers into his cauldron, and for the briefest moment you could swear he smiles. Maybe he's seen something in the smoke. Maybe he's just dizzy. The Tang Dynasty is flourishing around him, poetry, art, calligraphy, but in this cramped workshop, something else is blooming: chemistry. The modern world is being born in secret, under the pretense of magic. You watch sparks crawl up the walls like mischievous spirits, and you wonder how many other miracles began with the simple mistake of wanting to live forever. He pours the mixture into a porcelain dish, waiting for it to cool. You lean closer. There's that faint, sweet smell again, like burnt sugar mixed with thunder. The alchemist takes a tentative sniff, then promptly sneezes hard enough to blow out his candle. You both freeze. Somewhere deep in the cauldron, a faint hiss answers back. It's not an explosion this time, just a whisper, a promise of things to come. The smell lingers long after the sound fades. You can almost feel history crack open a door, ever so slightly. He doesn't know it yet, but this dusty room will echo across 1,000 battlefields. His pursuit of immortality has accidentally set humanity on a new path, one paved not with immortality, but with fire. The night grows quiet again. The alchemist leans back, sighs, and dips his brush one last time, recording a single phrase in his journal. Beware of mixing sulfur and saltpeter. It burns the hands and the house. You smile. A cautionary note, sure, but also perhaps the first safety warning in the history of chemistry. Outside, the stars twinkle like embers. Inside, the world's first alchemist of destruction sits alone, wondering if maybe, just maybe, he's found a different kind of immortality after all. You're not in the workshop anymore. You've been summoned, by decree no less, to the imperial palace. The letter was written on silk, sealed with gold lacquer, and carried by a nervous courier who looked like he'd rather deliver bad news to a dragon. The message was simple: His Majesty requires your presence immediately. So now, as you trudge up the marble steps of the Tang court, the incense hits you first. A smoky sweetness laced with sandalwood and expectation. Courtiers glide past in embroidered robes, each pretending not to notice that you smell faintly of sulfur and singed beard. You can feel their disapproval the way one feels static before a lightning strike. The emperor sits high on his jade throne, a living god wrapped in red silk. His face is calm, almost too calm, like someone who has never had to worry about taxes or gravity. His voice is soft when he finally speaks, but every word lands like a coin dropped into a deep well. You are the man who can make me live forever. You bow so low your forehead nearly dents the floor. You'd like to explain that you can't even keep a candle burning the same way twice, let alone the human body. But emperors don't ask questions. They issue ultimatums dressed as compliments. He gestures, and servants carry in chests filled with ingredients: crushed pearls, jade dust, powdered ginseng, a suspiciously glowing vial of mercury. You realize the emperor has no shortage of faith, just of common sense. Mix me an elixir, a draught for eternity. You smile faintly, partly out of fear, partly because you know how this will go. The last man who failed the same task hasn't been seen since, and if you're lucky, maybe the new elixir will make your ghost live forever. Still, you get to work. The palace laboratory is magnificent. Marble floors, gold utensils, polished bronze cauldrons that could fit an entire court musician. You can almost hear the chorus of minor gods sighing as you pour in each new powder. A pinch of real gar, a dash of mercury, a swirl of honey. Alchemy's version of a cocktail hour. The mixture bubbles, glows, and emits a sound not unlike a cat realizing it's wet. As the smoke thickens, a court scholar leans in and whispers, "Do you think this will work?" You shrug. "If it doesn't," you reply, "I won't be around to explain why." Historians still argue whether Tang emperors truly believed in these elixirs or if it was all political theater. Rituals of control disguised as quests for transcendence. Some suggest the emperors knew it was nonsense, but enjoyed the idea of keeping their alchemists too busy to plot rebellion. Others say they genuinely feared death like everyone else and clung to Taoist immortality the way we cling to Wi-Fi signals. The emperor watches in silence as you pour the finished potion into a jade cup. The liquid shimmers, red and gold like liquid sunset. It looks divine. You hand it over with trembling fingers. He drinks deeply. The court holds its breath. Nothing happens. Then again, immortality doesn't usually announce itself right away. The emperor smacks his lips thoughtfully. "Sweet and bitter," he says. He nods, satisfied, or maybe just too polite to spit mercury in front of company. Later that night, as you return to your quarters, you overhear rumors. Another emperor, another dynasty, long ago, who also drank from the cup of forever and promptly died from mercury poisoning. You wonder how many of these stories are warnings and how many are prophecies. In the dim lamplight, you open your journal and scribble a note. The elixirs may not prolong life, but they do make the emperors quiet. You smile at the dark humor. A strange comfort settles in, the kind that only comes when you realize you've survived another day in a profession where oops could be your epitaph. Outside, the palace hums like a hive. You can hear courtiers plotting, musicians rehearsing, the soft footsteps of eunuchs carrying sealed scrolls to unknown destinations. And you, the humble alchemist, sit surrounded by jars of volatile powders trying to turn mortality into a science experiment. You pick up a lump of sulfur, roll it between your fingers, and notice how it glows faintly under the candlelight. You remember the spark back in your old workshop, the one that nearly set your beard ablaze, and feel a pang of curiosity. Maybe the answer to eternal life isn't in avoiding death, but in understanding the fire itself. Somewhere in the courtyard, a gong sounds midnight. The emperor sleeps,